Get real, they tell me. You dream too much, grow up, act your age. Life isn't fair, love stinks. The glass may be half full or half empty, but it's definitely full of piss, so wake up and smell it. Get your head down from the clouds and out of the sand, because this is the real world. Keep up or be left behind. Get real, they tell me. But why? I read and write into a world of escape, a land of fantasy and magic where anything is possible. It's love at first sight. Stories have happy endings, and hope is more powerful than evil. You tell me life stinks and love isn't fair, bad things happen to good people, Santa Claus isn't real, and the rabbit was in the hat the whole time. You tell me of things broken, hearts and homes, belongings and bodies, the system and ways of thinking. You tell me, over and over, increasing in volume until your face turns red then blue. So why don't you tell me why I should give up my escape just to please you? Thank you. So I boiled it down to 1/6 its size, and here is my gargoyle's angel. He wanders through the streets, night the only time to avoid their thoughts. The gargoyle knows that they hate him. His ugliness, deformity, rarity, everything that makes him different, a curse. Every person he meets, scared or sneering at him. Not one person listens to his songs, those he weaves with sorrowful wails in his gutter. No one cares for the jokes that he tells to the rats scurrying by. No one cares to read the poetry scratched in the sludge at his feet. No one cares to hear any words that he speaks. In his mind, he sees. But what does it matter to me? My songs, different they may be, but lacking not a gift of my own soul. My jokes, though shared only with the rats, bring the joy as if I were a famous jester. My poems may not be bound in leathers found in the king's library, but are still for all to read. My words, though none tilt their ear, are the medium of my art, and my art is for none other than me. Then the gargoyle notices a most curious, thin white line between two of his scales. Tentatively, the gargoyle touches a claw to it, scratches a little bit. They part, and a patch of the softest bronze lies underneath. He ponders and scratches and ponders. Then that moment of clarity comes when he knows what lays beneath his scales. Skin. Instead of a scratch, it is now a frantic tear. Down in through the scales he dives with claws and teeth. Chokes come away, and the leathery membranes at his shoulder give way to feathers. With a snap of his wings, he soars into the air, both arms tensed by his sides as though just breaking chains from his chest. He says 3 words in a whisper so resolute that it is a shout heard around the world. I am free. Thank you. The second half to the tale is the angelic side. And this is my angel sunrise. I'm walking alone, newly transformed, yet still not belonging. Loneliness, darkness enveloping. Is there even another creature like me? Finally, down from the freedom high, my situation has not changed. Not truly. Then on my left, those first cracks of light. Morning is coming on this lonely road, but what is that? Wait, those things dancing in the light's edge, coming this way. As I get closer, I could see their perfect physique, how the luminous hair flows in the wind. I can hear the laughter and joy, and spread wide to their sides, I recognize something freshly familiar. A bridge spanning between what I have now become and what they have always been. I can see white, fluffy, powerful wings. This brings novel excitement, and what is shocking more are beckoning arms. Happiness snaps my muscles as I rocket up. I race forward to belong. I race upward to be apart. I race headlong to be home. And with my newfound family, I ride my angel's first sunrise. Thank you. Opening up with some oldies but goodies, we're going to get into some of the new things that have been happening. If I can turn this page. Come on now. All right. This place up here is pretty special. Any chance you get the time to be a part of it, you should. Because It's the original safe space. It's where you can be anything. It's kind of like church. We are searchers, hunting for belonging, hunger for connection, driving us onward to the warmth of intimacy until we are burned. Then we must defend, block, evade, protect. Walls are erected, and we think we are safe. Later, we realize what we have become. We are souls solitarily confined to organic prisons, viewing other inmates through myopic portals. So we clank around, shrink back, and lash out for fear of another inmate, and cannot see that soul is just as wounded as me. Until we come here, to church. The church of the human soul, where sacrifices of vulnerability are laid bare upon the altar of the ears. Truth, reality, and understanding its credo, and armor-ending its sacrament. It's here that we pry open clenched jaws and cold, hard chests to reveal warm, bleeding, beating hearts. Revelation, understanding, and empathy flow freely. We pass a collection plate before we leave and listen closely to the soft clink, clink, clink of forsaken armor fragments in the offering. Thank you. Now, there are some things happening in the world today that get my dander up. And there's this trend that's going on, and you'll see what I'm getting at as we dive into manly things. I'm not ashamed to admit this. I like chick flicks, love stories, and sappy poetry. They are wonderful tales that flood us with nostalgic ponderings, what once was and could have been, and add an extra measure of hope for that which each of us longs. But why does that statement need a preface? You see, denouncing shame indicates a perception of embarrassment, and the defenses are cried for all to hear. My girlfriend made me watch it. Hey bro, looking good today, no homo. I'm not crying, there's just something in my eye. We toss out these lines like an incantation, magically deflecting undesired ruminations. Why? Because these things aren't manly. Manly. Currently, a crooked societal yardstick measuring the effectiveness of one's loins by the lust-inducing qualities of each person that he sleeps with. The greater the multitude, the better the rating. Then there are penalties, points taken off if you don't join a sports cult, or you like scented candles, or cry when you're sad or hurting. To make up for lost yards, you just have to score more. Get in there and be a man. Be a man. The prodigal phrase, yet to be reclaimed, currently means liking the right things, betting the right women, and masking any weakness. When did interests and proclivities replace character as the measure of manly quality? Why isn't honesty manly? It hurts the rankings. An honest man can't tell a woman she's the only one and then jump into a new bed the next night. What about dependability? Well, if she can count on you, it might get emotional, and emotions are a penalty, foul, flag on the play. And don't even get me started on integrity. An integrous man can't hook up with the tramp at the bar just because the wife won't find out, so he is missing layups. This distorted standard established by the insatiable thirst of grown-sized children has claimed its last victim. The prodigal phrase has come home. Be a man with an open heart. Be a man whose word is a valid substitute for gold. Be a man that can be relied upon. Be a man who gives his ultimate effort to every task. Be a man who mentors the young in morality. Simply, be a man. Thank you. I hold that one a little dear to my heart because all those things at the end there, I learned what the true standard was by watching my dad, and he happens to be here tonight, and I'm glad he gets to see me do this. And a lot of people that I invited are showing up either online or in the audience. My history teacher from back in high school managed to come out, and I find that really cool. Because I was like, oh, I got to do you see your Fourth Friday concert when I was at school, and now you get to see me do my thing. I think it's awesome. Yes, Mr. Hoffman, I'm geeking out a little bit. We have a follow-up to Manly Things, and it's called All the Way. We prepare ourselves for a night out like being presented for royalty, bathing, slathering scents, and critiquing every garment, hairstyled precisely and cemented in place. There's a plan of action, a backup plan, and a backup plan for the backup plan. You're looking to go all the way. I know what you mean. You intend to find the first ready partner and consummate the moment, the latest in a string of succulent seconds. But that idea doesn't match the words you say. That's not all the way. It's not all the way until that delightful day that she comes all the way down the aisle and she is pronounced wife. It's not all the day until after struggle and pain she's made it all the way through labor and you're pronounced mom and dad. It's not all the way until that surreal evening when they made it all the way through school, hours of study pronouncing them graduates. It's not all the way until the joyous occasion you make it all the way through the waiting and achieve the title of grandparents. It's not all the way until that agonizing, sorrowful day that you make it all the way to the other's graveside. A hard fight finally lost, and widowed hangs around your shoulders like a lead sign. So when you utter all the way, you don't understand the words you say. See, you're hunting for the antithesis of that statement, and I cannot comprehend why you would even want to be good at a one-night stand. There's no connection, no real emotion, when you are just diving for the latest pearl to display around your porcine neck. So that day you need somebody. To whom do you turn? No partner to speak of, and your boys? Well, they have their own strands to worry about. But if all you really want is what feels good for now, then you do you. I just ask that you please stay in your lane. It's true that there are plenty of fish in the sea, so please stay out of my pond. You see, the bad boys always get their hands on a good woman and transform her into an insecure girl. Men can see who she really is, past those dings and damages you wrought, but she won't give me the time of day because she met you first and you hurt her first, and then you second and you third and fourth, fifth, sixth. So when she sees me coming by, she throws up a wall first, convincing herself that boys like you are what she really wants. So now she's quicker to drop penicillin-laced panties for a juvenile that she thinks she can change, and won't even drop all 7 digits for a man acting counter to common wisdom so strange. So no more fun boy poaching on good woman preserve, a place for the Cinderellas once trampled and left in the mire, now raised from the muck to their true royalty. To come through this gate, you need to man up and purchase a game license with the currency of maturity and integrity, because here we only go all the way. Thank you. I have 2 more prepared for you guys. I don't know who saw the Will Smith movie last Christmas, Collateral Beauty, where he wrote letters to the universe, time and death. Well, I started my own little pen pal project, and I wrote letters to Cupid and to love and time and to Romeo and Juliet, and then I landed on this one. This is Dear Aphrodite. Wow. Dear Aphrodite, Chardonnay or Merlot? Which goes better with shoe leather? Because every time I talk to a woman, I end up with my foot in my mouth, and this mumbling bumble traps me in a ceaseless blather. So if I'm stuck, I might as well enjoy it for a while. You know what they say, alcohol helps the laces go down. And while I'm at the dinner table, cut me off a piece of humble pie so I can swallow my pride along with my hopes and dreams of a family. Maybe they will finally do me some good as sustenance. Or maybe not, since a dream yet realized has very little substance. Perhaps I'll just eat away the boredom for a short time. How something is better than nothing. Everyone knows a whirlwind romance is better than none at all, because even when it ends, memories linger. But for every infatuation-soaked memory in my collection, 100 more rejections are in my recollection, which lends itself to the suggestion that maybe there isn't one for me. And all my guessworks and imaginings only serve to drive me crazy, like this confinement to solitude can so easily do. Dear Aphrodite, I'm only asking for a girl that is smart and funny, enjoys my company, and maybe just a little pretty. If we could start there, I think that would be more than fair. I'm not asking for a miracle here, or maybe I am, because Dear Aphrodite, when I line up all the matches that you made for me, it's far too plain to see that you consider me to be the unlovable man. I've noticed that you use my love like medicine. The girls who have been hurt before, you bring them to me and let my treating them like royalty salve their wounds and mend their hearts until they're ready for the next jerk. You see, I'm tired of being jerked around and picking up pieces when most women treat me like we aren't even the same species. So dear Aphrodite, don't bring me any more matches unless there are other one. As your love doctor, I'm done. This is my resignation, and I'm sure women across the nation are crying out in jubilation to see me go. And remind me, did you say the Chardonnay or the Merlot? Thank you. If you ever get a chance to hear North Star perform, sometime he'll mention something called anthem pieces. These things that are kind of like a little bit of a cry out to the world of, if you're going to remember anything, remember this. And I wrote one. And then I kind of got this thought in my head. If it's an anthem, I shouldn't be the only one singing it. If it's an anthem, there should be others to join my voice. So to do this piece, I'm going to need the help of a couple of friends. We've got the fiery voice and attitude of Lala coming up to help me, and the brave new soul, Jacob Clark, that are going to assist me here with the Dork Manifesto.
Woohoo!
Here, put on. There's an extra mic right there. We get you covered. Manifesting. That's a good word.
Dorks,
Weeds.
nerds,
Geeks.
goobers, goofballs, and weirdos. We are not legion.
And we like it that way.
We don't break the mold.
We were hand sculpted, each one different, unique, but with one thing in common.
An extra piece.
A switch.
That toggles on or off our care for what others think. So we like what we like.
And we love it that way.
My fellow geeks, remember this. Don't ever change.
Free from expectations, we could choose any class and weapon and roll the dice our way.
We dared to adventure in another realm, going boldly where none had gone before, and we were banished here.
So we built a land for the exiles. Left to a barren wasteland, we made it fertile and lush, feeding the land with imagination, inspiration, and fearlessness. Now our kingdom is popular for vacation.
Just because you marvel at our universe.
Don't you think you'll ever be a citizen of our nation?
Just because you like our culture doesn't mean you understand. Born unique, we were cast aside for living our way. Once labeled the rejects,
We now reject your rejection.
And transform your insults
into badges of honor. So we, the dorks, dweebs, nerds, geeks, goobers, goofballs, and weirdos, solemnly swear to let our freak flag fly and proudly undersign this Dork Manifesto.
Woo-hoo!